Hey, HR friends, welcome back. So, if you were here yesterday, tuned in when we did the 2 day one, I was warning everybody that for the next 3 days, that third person agitations were going to be up, that we had just changed directions and the larger electromagnetic tide, and that we should expect more weather events as well as social disrupting events. Now, the weather's pretty obvious. If people are paying attention, Florida's getting slammed, the Northeast is getting slammed, and then here in another day or so, it's going to all calm down. Well, isn't that a coincidence? So are the agitations in the third person perspective are calming down. Now, what I want to talk about today is one of the social disruptions that's recently happened. So, this was an event in the United States where the Supreme Court decided to overturn a previous ban on bump stocks. Now, if you don't know what a bump stock is an attachment that you can put on a semi-automatic rifle, and it basically makes it fully automatic. Now, the reason these were banned in the first place actually has to do with the 2017 Las Vegas mass shooting. The person who carried out that mass shooting used bump stocks on his semi-automatic rifles to shoot over 1,000 rounds in 10 minutes time. And with those 1,000 rounds, he killed 60 people and injured another 413. So this is why bump stocks were a concern. Now, I don't have an argument for guns. I grew up hunting. I grew up using guns. Guns aren't really the problem here. Now, do I think we should be using guns and killing things? I don't see how that equal out or balances anything. But what I am more concerned about here, and what I want you to be concerned about here, is the idea but we're designed to be defensive. We're designed to then be aggressive because we're either going to run away or we're going to fight. And then there are these unseen electromagnetic agitations that are then poking and prodding us to do things that we're going to regret or that we really didn't have the power to stop. We couldn't feel what was happening to us. Now, I'm not making excuses. The person who carried out this mass shooting, that that's awful. And the people that had to experience this, I am so sorry for that. Now, the first thing I want to look at here, I've already set to the day and time, okay? So this happened on Sunday, October 1st, 2017, and this gunman starts shooting through his window of his room out of Mandalay Bay at 10:05 p.m., okay? Now, I want you to see that there's an alignment happening here. And when an alignment's happening, it just means that there's a very strong frequency. And what it means is it's not only going to assess us at the individual level, it's also going to assess a regional level. Like how does that region of people interact? And in this case, it's asking how is that region of people interacting? Is it balanced in a national perspective? Well, you tell me. Las Vegas, what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. I think everybody laughs because Las Vegas is like this island of, I don't want to say corruption, but it's where you can go and do things that you wouldn't normally do other places. That seems a little unbalanced to me. So I'm saying this is a strong alignment, and that was a really unfortunate event. And those two things are definitely linked together. Okay. Now, so if we were Health Reconnected would want to reach out to Las Vegas had we had this information then and say, hey, for the city of Las Vegas, this is the regional imbalance that led to this awful event. This is where we want to start educating people in the future so things like this doesn't have to happen when we're just trying to enjoy ourselves at a concert outside, right? Okay, now the last thing I want to do here before we kind of hang this up, because we're showing you the alignment that happened at that time that coincided with this event. We also want to just quick look at the electromagnetics here. We expect they're going to be elevated. And sure enough, here they are. So the combined elevation is sitting at between 4 and 3. And then you've got elevation at both the first person level just came off and the third person level is coming up. Now, this is kind of important to see. And I'm going to go back to the other page here. So at the smaller level, this tidal change is happening at all frequencies. Let me bring you back here. So we were talking about the tidal change that happens at the E frequency. This happens to be a tidal change that's happening at the P frequency. You see how as this is going to happen or as this event's unfolding, it's right at the end of this. So now let me take you to 10:15 here, okay? So we're at 10:15 p.m. and what you're going to notice here is this P frequency is not going to be at 87 anymore. It's going to change from 87. So watch. Now it's at 28. That's a huge electromagnetic change. So we're going from a level 8 down to a level 2, and that's polarizing this moment. So I'm trying to help you understand there are many layers of this tide that we would look at. But again, the moment that this mass shooting starts, I mean, this stuff is predicted, meaning when these shifts happen, that's when it's likely that things that aren't going to be so pleasant are going to happen. And then if they were watching, if we had the predictive sheet back then, we would already be saying, "Hey, really pay attention during this time. This is when you're gonna be tested on balanced choice. If you're out of balance with this time, then unfortunately, things can get a little crazy." All right, so I hope you're starting to see here how we can go back to any event in time and how we need to start understanding going forward in the future how important it is to stay calm and how important it is to not let the defensive mechanisms that are strapped to us make this experience any tougher than it already is. All right, that's enough on this one. Stay tuned for the next one.